Hey guys, Jason here with a word to the wise. My last video 10 days ago, stars fall, sky rolls back like a scroll. And I was showing just from that sky rolls back like a scroll, not a very common verse in the Bible. Only place I ever saw it was in that Isaiah 34. I can't imagine there's too many times where the sky is going to roll back like a scroll. What does that mean? I had an idea a couple days ago where the sky rolling up as a scroll, like it is finished. They're done with a portion, a part, a system. I don't know what that could possibly mean. I haven't seen anything that refers to the sky as a scroll anywhere else. That's something that you could do word searches on. But this morning, as I woke up, I was thinking the heavenly host, the heavenly host, the heavenly host. So go to Bible Hub, type it in, heavenly host, click on it. And it brings me to Daniel chapter 8. And what do I see there? Let's see. As I was considering, so this is chapter 8, verse 5. And as I was considering, behold, a male goat came from the west across the face of the whole earth without touching the ground. And the goat had a conspicuous horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram with the two horns, which I had seen standing on the banks of the canal. And he ran at him with power in his powerful wrath. I saw him come close to the ram, and he was enraged against him, struck the ram and broke his two horns. And the ram had no power to stand before him, but he cast him to the ground and trampled on him, and there was no one who could rescue the ram from his power. Then the goat became exceedingly great, but when he was strong, and the great horn was broken, and instead of it, there came up four conspicuous horns towards the four winds of heaven. Now, verse 9 and 10. And out of them came a little horn, which grew exceedingly great towards the south, towards the east, and towards the glorious land. It grew great, and even to the heavenly hosts, and even some of the host and some of the stars it threw down to the ground and trampled them. It became great, even as great as the prince of the hosts. So, what was I talking about in that last video of mine? Was the idea that the heavenly host, the stars, are either angels, which then could be deceived by the world or used by the world as, oh no, these aren't angels, because if they deny Jesus, you got no place for angels. Otherwise, that puts truth to the Bible. So if aliens are part of these stars that are thrown to the earth, or are they as higher ups in today's society, government, popular leaders of religious groups, of militaries, of politicians, what have you, higher ups? Or is it aliens? Or is it aliens as in angels? The fallen. And some more of these are going to be thrown down. And when they're thrown down to the earth, is that some sort of a part of power being thrown? Because I've spoken on the ram and the goat in the past, and look at the current climate in America. If I had to put a face to the goat and the ram, it looks like it'd be Biden and Trump. But we're talking on a world stage here. So is there something greater? And the ram and his two horns are broken. So we'll come back to that. So verse 16 in chapter 8 in Daniel. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, and it called, Gabriel, make this man understand the vision. Now there's some other verses in between these two And I'm skipping ahead here. So he said, verse 19, "Behold, I will make it known to you what shall be at the latter end of the indignation, for it refers to the appointed time of the end. As the ram that you saw with the two horns, these are the kings of Media and Persia, and the goat is the king of Grecia." So here again, Media and Persia are these people that in America, we don't really have an idea who these kings and princes are there. So, we can't say, well, it's this guy, it's Prince Ababwa or whatever, And then the king of Greece. I mean, Greece on the political stage right now isn't really anything. But here, if you look at America's architecture, look how the Romans style came out of an old ancient Greece styling of their buildings and their construction carried over. All roads are leading to Rome, people say. So looking at America's buildings, monuments, look very Grecian in sorts. So we kind of did we carry it over? I don't know. I'm not saying I know that. As for the horn that was broken in the place which 4 others rose, 4 kingdoms shall arise from his nation, but not with his power. And at the latter end of their kingdom, when the transgressors have reached their limit, a king of bold face, one who understands riddles, shall rise up. His power shall be great, but not by his own power. And he shall cause fearful destruction, and shall succeed in what he does, and destroy mighty men and the people who are the saints. By his cunning he shall make deceit prosper until his hands, and in his own mind he shall become great. Without warning he shall destroy many, and he shall even rise up against the prince of princes, and he shall be broken, but not by human hands. He shall be broken, but not by human hands. Now, I don't know what that means. AI. Looking at current words online. I mean, look at Prince Charles. He's a man of great power, but he's got a problem right now, dealing with the big C, stomach problem. And if he gets brought down because there's no cure, well, not by human hands or something else. So now, just with that, now this is the English Standard Version. The stars, where is it? And some of the host and some of the stars it threw down to the ground and trampled on them. So, keeping that in mind, with the explanation that's been given to Gabriel to explain that to Daniel, talking about the kings of the world. So here again, doesn't sound much like they're speaking about, because I read this and read this and read this again, because I wanted to see, is there any verses that are talking about the host of heaven being angels thrown down? That's not what it says here. Now you can go to Daniel 11 also, and you can see, as long as that doesn't really speak about angels and man, in some sort of a separate or being kind of at work or at play in this. Not until you get to Daniel chapter 12, where it speaks on some raised from, it sounds like the dead, for everlasting life, and some raised from the dead for everlasting punishment or contempt. And the angels come down and they do work, the works of God, but it's not so much of a thing where angels are dwelling with man, or giants, because that's a big thing people keep talking about. Giants are coming back. Revelation 17, though. Keep moving on this. This calls for a mind with so verse 17, this is after the bowls. You see the woman riding on the beast. And this is more of an explanation again. This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains which the woman is seated. They are also 7 kings, 5 whom have fallen. 1 is, and the other has not yet come. And when he does come, he must remain only for a little while. As for the beast that was and is not, it is an 8th, but it belongs to the 7, and it goes to destruction. And the 10 horns, so speaking on horns, as you see the ram and the goat with the horns popping up, going off, breaking off, horns growing back in its place. And the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received royal power, but they are to receive authority as kings for 1 hour, together with the beast. These are one mind, and they hand over their power and authority to the beast. And they make war on the Lamb, and the Lamb will conquer them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those with him are called and chosen and faithful. Sorry to break that down, but I'm trying not to mix up the words here and stutter and sputter and all that. So, talking about the Lamb, is that the Prince of Princes? He is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. But as it speaks, it became great even as the Prince of the host. And there's other verses in that Daniel that speak on. But I'll leave it at that. Just a word to the wise. I did have something else I wanted to go into, which kind of dealt with Peter and kind of his walk with Jesus. I thought it was kind of an interesting thing, but I'll do that another time just to keep this separate. And it kind of is a good part, too, to the last one. So just a word to the wise, guys. God bless. I'll be back.